Hey there, everyone. All right, today I'm dropping a micro training real quick for you guys. First, I want to answer a question I get asked sometimes. What's the difference between entrepreneurship and small business? Like, isn't it the same thing? Great question. We're going to cover that today. I also want to feed that and weave that right into one of my favorite topics to teach how to use the manifestation current to bring these brilliant ideas from the ethers, from the spirit of your business. These are big topics in my book. So if you haven't gotten my book and you want to hear more about this, stay on here. This will be in my portal because I think this will be a great micro training for you guys in the biz portal in the school. But I also am going to put this on the podcast because I think it's just so helpful. I want to share this message with as many people as far and wide as it can go. If you're watching the video, you will see that my face is very red. I was outside with my kids for a while today and I am literally like windburned. Oh my God. It's middle of January, barely 25 degrees out, and we went out. I have the kids alone by myself for 5 days while my husband's in LA. God bless the city of angels right now. And here we are. And I have a babysitter in the other room. So mama needed to sneak away and do a little recording. All right, let's hit up that first question. Like, Jayme, entrepreneurship, small business, why do I speak so differently about it? Or why do I address both parties? So here's the thing. Also, I'm called the Soulpreneur coach too. So there's that. So I'm going to just kind of answer all of these questions real quick. So an entrepreneur is actually someone that has the idea, that has the spark, that creates, designs, ignites the thing, right? Whatever type of business or a creation, a solution, a design, an innovation, a great idea for a business, like it's usually that the person who is making that, who is creating that, who is doing that. And then they follow through with the actual design of it, the build out of it, the launch of it, the growth of it, and eventually, if they're lucky enough, right, the scaling of it. What's the difference between that and small business? Well, if you think about it, a lot of small businesses, people have different ways into small business. One, it could be a family thing. This could be a generational thing, something that was um, you're on how many second, third, fourth, fifth generation of a family business, right? So way back when one of your family members was the entrepreneur who kicked it off and said, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let's go do this. Let's go do X, Y, and Z," right? And then it was passed down through the generations. That's still owning a small business, right? Obviously, it's owning a small business or a big business, depending on how big it got. There's also like ways into businesses, buying someone else's business that they started, franchises, licensing agreements, taking over someone's biz, liquidating. Someone's liquidating their biz and you're taking it over. There's so many different ways to do business, but that's just a quick answer for what separates entrepreneur, the word, the idea of that, the noun and the verb, I guess, of that, and then running a small business. Obviously, there's crossover and you can do both. But it's nice to clear that up real quick, just to clear the air for anyone who's curious about that. And then why do I call it soulpreneur? Like besides it just being a trendy word, right? When I first heard and felt that in my body, I was like, that is me. This is what I'm doing. That was years ago. And I've just been rocking with that name for a long time. I don't know if anyone has it trademarked, and once they do, all of us will have to release it. But so far, I don't think anyone's like claimed it. A bunch of people use it. There are podcasts around the world and books around the world, and there's loads of people using that word. And I don't really think anyone owns it. It's more of an archetype than it is for one person. You know what I'm saying? So why do I use that word? So what my book is about and what my mission is about is helping people understand that they have a soul purpose, that they came here to the planet with a mission, with a vision, with a blueprint for something that needs to be done, created, or served up. Straight up. All right. And this is where the manifestation current comes in. So you have this thing, you've come here to do this thing, you get loads of life experience. I call them earth classrooms. Again, a whole nother section in my book. And you start to understand that all these earth classrooms have helped you and guided you and given you the training, basically, for the things you're here to do. Sounds easy. If we get into some really weird dark shit, it's going to be harder to like work through that. So like if that's you, reach out to me. I'm here for those conversations. I'm here for people. I can sit with you in your shadow, man. All right. 1000%. But when you can objectively look at it from like that lens, like even mine, multiple miscarriages while my mom was dying, not cute while I was in it, you know? Um, but here we are. Now I have a half a book written to help people through the depths of healing the mother wound and clearing their womb for these badass light beings coming to the planet. I would have never been able to write that and lead that. And I've worked with over 26 families who are having trouble conceiving, with calling in and connecting to and channeling with their light baby, their spirit baby on the other side. And like half of them have gotten pregnant since those calls. Pretty freaking cool. So I wouldn't have been able to do those things without that earth classroom. You feel me? So coming back to this, coming back to the soul purpose, why I call it Soulpreneur, is also like to really demonstrate this is what I like to teach on the manifestation current. The manifestation current is a downward current from the higher realms and chakras down onto the planet. Like literally think of streaming energy from the heavens onto the planet. The liberation current is the other direction, right? It's energy that reaches up, out, and off, out of the body, out of the planet, out of the energy fields, right? Out of the atmosphere, whatever you want to think. So it's like being able to really pull things up and release them out of you. Whereas the manifestation is to be able to pull it down through you. So this is the way I like to run people down it real quick. This is what I talk about connecting to the spirit of your biz. These ideas, these missions, these creations that come to us, it's not just that, it's our mission and our soul purpose. These things also have a mission. They also have a need to be created on the planet. They have their own blueprint. They have their own frequency. They have their own guidebook. They have their own vision and mission. And they're looking for and choosing the best co-creator to do the damn thing on planet Earth. It's a frequency match. It's magnetic, you and this idea. So not only is it like, let's say, some people would call that destiny, like destined to experience this and write a book about this and lead that, right? I call it more purpose. We came here for a purpose to do things. And again, purpose is very layered. This is 1/100th of it. Go read my book if you want to hear about different layers of purpose. But we are this is what I call connecting to the spirit of your business. When you can sit in counsel with this and meditation with this in a neutral space, in a channeled space, with the consciousness of your business or this creation or that book or that project or that kids center, whatever, a website designing company, whatever, okay? It has a deeper need too, and it has chosen you. When you can realize that about yourself and your work, it is gratifying. It is relieving. It takes off the pressure and stress because you realize you're not alone. This is so needed. So you realize you're not alone. You're like, oh my God, when you get to my book or when you work with me or you take my calls and you actually hear about this, I've really never heard someone talk about this or write about this. Like one time, once I had like a goddess priestess teacher talk about this, but more in like a in Indian, like from India format, like using high level yogic practices to talk about it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it was different but similar. And I was like, oh my God, yes, that's what I taught. Like, she gets it. Like, that's what I'm talking about. She wasn't really necessarily talking about business. Anywho, this is why I had to write a book about it. It's literally in the title of the book, and it better stay in the title of the book. I'm gonna have to fight a publisher, I'm sure, to do that. But it's so necessary for you to connect to the spirit of your business. You will actually feel less alone. That's the best part. Okay. So now we connect to the spheres of the business. We're like, oh my God, cool. I don't have to run around with my head chopped off. I just have to connect to you on a regular basis. Booyah. All right. So what I teach my clients is to actually get into a habit. If you haven't done this, as if this is the first time you're hearing it, do this every day. Get into counsel maybe every morning, maybe it's every night, maybe it's when you're in the shower, man, maybe it's on a nature walk, whatever. Connect to the spirit of your business on a regular basis. And you're in counsel with that instead of wasting all your time on social media and getting your next cue from someone who's blah, 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 right? Connect to the spirit of your business. It has all the answers. You're looking for answers. It has all the answers. It has better answers than your coach, your mother, your fucking priest at all. All right. It's got all the answers. Tap into it on a regular basis. Okay, so then we get the idea, the vision, what we have. Then we it's like, okay, that's cool. Now what? Now you bring it down through the manifestation current. So we're going to take it in, right, of those higher energy vortexes, the energy centers we have, your channel above you, also known as chakras, right? We're going to take it down and through. So we're just going to use like the framework of the 7 that most people are familiar with for this example. All right. So you're taking and letting it drop in through the crown chakra, right? This is where ideas come from. And as a druid, we also call this like uh literally creation is its own energy on the planet. Like the creative force is an inspirational force on the planet. It's not just like, oh, that's a good idea. Like it's a living, breathing, creative force. We call it Awen. And there's a few other names for it too, but I won't get into the druidry of it. But it's so cool to know, and like most ancient civilizations have some sort of a name for that inspiring, intuitive, natural, organic, alive, creative force. You feel me? So that channel, that energy is what also helps like carry that to you and through you. So remember that. This is like a pretty involved experience. This isn't just like, oh, I got an idea the other day. When you start breaking it down and hearing this from someone like me, right? You're just like, oh shit, this is big. This is a lot. And this also kind of backs up that you are a badass on planet Earth here to do the damn thing, friend. Okay. So then we take it in through the crown. It's like, okay, cool. So it's going to drop in and then it's going to come down. We're going to bring it down into the third eye. And in this area, we're going to visualize it. We're going to see it. We're going to think about it. We're going to meditate on it. We're going to keep coming back to it. We're going to build pattern around it. We're going to have visual around it. Maybe you're like making things like a vision board around it, right? And then the next step is to come down into the throat. And the throat is when you're going to start sharing about it, speaking about it, giving voice to it, all these things that have to do with speaking and sharing. And you're going to start talking about it. I'm going to write this book. I'm going to write this book. I'm going to open up my own business. I'm going to do this thing. I need to open up a muffin shop. Da 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 da. I'll tell you right now, most people get stuck right there. How many people do you know, or are you that person who just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks about the thing they're gonna do? It's stuck there, right? And then you can pull it down into the heart. And the heart is when you really start to like get emotional about it and you sense that it's more than about you and it's bigger, it's for the collective. It's a healing experience to pull this in. I say often to my clients, I've been laughing about, and I write all over social media about, it's like if you want the most advanced form of personal development, just open a business, LOL, right? Or follow through on one of these creative processes like writing a book. It's gonna F you up. right? It's an advanced, accelerated journey of transformation to align with creative forces, share your heart's vulnerable work with the world, and then get paid for it. That's some shit. That's some spiritual shit right there. All right, that's a whole nother topic. But so you get what I'm saying? Like, it gets heavier and it gets more personal and it gets powerful as you keep going down the manifestation current. And you can see everything I just said right there. Like, it's like heart is courage. Like, this is where you'd have the courage to do the damn thing. That's where you start to build and feel the courage to do the thing. Then we go down into the belly. So now we're down into the belly, and this is like the willpower to do it, having the guts to do it. Do you have the strength, the fire, that manipura, that flame within you, the determination to do the damn thing? This is pit in your stomach. This is feel nauseous about it. Ooh, um, I can feel it as I'm talking about it. I don't know if you can, right? It's like very freaking visceral. It's where a lot of people kind of have this like horrible gut feeling, or their stomachs tied in knots when they're about to like share their work with the world. It's scary. And I mean, I've been doing this for like 13 years, going off on my own, making my own money for 13 years. I mean, really, I was making money as a child, let's be real. I started selling anything I could as soon as I figured out money, to be completely honest. I was like 7 years old, I had my own shit going. Um, but even still, like, oh my God, that first time I went live on Facebook and like that feature came out and I was doing that and I was like live streaming, that was like, "Whoa." The first time I was like really came out with a blog and was writing. And when I came out with the Wild Moon Society and was writing about lunar astrology over 2.5 days, people were like, what the fuck is she talking about? You know what I mean? And this was like back in 2015, 16, when everyone was not doing it. Like that was scary. It was a lot, but I fucking plowed through it. It was like, okay, here's some fear. All right. And I just went through it. I just did it. And that answer may piss you off, but it was like I wasn't just doing it because I like had the guts to do it. It was because I knew that there was a process here, and if I just followed the process, I would be able to move to it and through it. Does that make sense? And the process is that, let's say you get to that, what's the next level? Well, the next level of that process is the creative centers, right? So then you get to really like work with this thing, create this thing, birth this thing. And to me, that was more exciting than staying stuck in fear. Writing my own book eventually was more exciting to me than like never making that first post. Having an audience listen to what I was talking about and teaching the way I want to teach and teach on the topics I want to teach that I couldn't really find anywhere was more tantalizing and desirable to me than staying behind that curtain. You feel me? So I knew there was a process to this, and this is that process. And then that stage after the creation center is that you birth it onto the ground and it comes through that like first chakra energy, right into the community, onto the planet, into reality, into the material form. That is like the birthing of the book, the making of the business, the opening the doors of your shop and creation. It's like actually bringing it to the freaking planet, y'all. This shit is powerful. This is the manifestation current. So my question to you is, where are you on this current? Where are you stuck? Which ideas are stuck where? It's a great question to ask yourself. All right. So we've talked about entrepreneurship, but now that you understand the manifestation current, I hope you can now see. I know that I've demonstrated how we are spiritual beings on the planet, dope ass humans, man, right? Who can connect to spirit. And I like to say to the spirit of your business or the spirit of your book, the spirit of your mission. Connect to and receive next steps, the templates, some vision on that, some what the year looks like, where we're going with this, how needed it is, right? You're in dialogue, in a co-creative state with this thing. And then, but you're the chosen human to bring it to life on planet Earth, to birth it onto the planet. Oh me, oh my. This shit is dope. Hashtag sip. All right. That was pretty micro. Yeah. So we went over the things. Entrepreneur. Are you an entrepreneur? Because a lot of people go like, oh, I can't talk to I can't ask, I can't say I'm that. I can't call myself that. It's like, well, did you have the idea? And are you the one bringing it through? Honey, you're an entrepreneur, you know? Or I like to say that you're a soulpreneur. That's why I call us soulpreneurs. That's why I am the soulpreneur coach, because I'm the fucking one writing books about this. You know what I mean? This is what I do all day, every day. And this is why people come to me, and you can see a lot of the testimony and feedback I'm getting from a lot of clients lately is like, I help you with your unique blueprint and success strategy. It's not about what worked for me. That doesn't matter at all. I storytell and I share because that is a part of the student teacher relationship, right? But this is about you and those things you're here to do. So go get my book if you want more of that. I'm also doing the 28-day distraction detox. So fucking excited for this. Love the name. Another great example, like when I'm making these things and having them come through, I'm not sitting here and going, oh, what's a good name? What's a good name? I'm just letting myself get into a neutral space and allowing myself to receive it. I'm allowing it to be revealed. I asked the creation itself, like, what do you want to be called? And that's when Mind Your Business dropped in, right? And I was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. And I quickly texted to myself. And because if not, that shit's gone. You know what I mean? And then 2 a.m. the next day, I'm trying to remember. Nope. It is very clear, right? So that is going to be a 28-day distraction detox. I'm so excited for that. It's going to be mostly delivered in email. Then I'll be live on Saturdays for 4 weeks in a row for strategy and support, Q&A, all of that. There's a lot of people with a lot of brilliant stuff in them, and everyone's distracted and everyone's leaking their pure source energy fucking everywhere. It's time to plug it up, give it to yourself, and put it towards your visions and missions. Okay. I think I covered everything. That's what I've got going on. I also have a big announcement coming March 1st, but I can't share. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this micro workshop, baby. Until the next one, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.